Weird Realities Network presents Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales, where we pull up a log, roast a marshmallow, and settle in as these two blondes talk spooky tales, urban legends, and classic horror icons. Exciting guests, perky blondes, and sinister tales makes this podcast as good as a double stack s'more. So let's join Bethany and Krystal as they gather around the campfire in Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales.
Whoop, sorry.
What?
I thought I'd catch it before the thing ended. It's a s'mores candy cane.
What?
That sounds like a very interesting candy cane flavor.
That sounds like it'll be yummy and hot chocolate.
Yeah, I didn't have hot chocolate. The best I had was prickly pear cactus water.
Yeah.
No, don't mix that.
I don't think it would mix well with the s'mores candy cane, but it sounds yum. Oh my gosh, when I went and visited my family, my brother had prickly pear vodka, and it was delicious. Did you just dip your s'mores thing in your prickly pear? I'm done. I'm over it. Bye.
Oh, crud. We haven't even started.
Well, welcome back to Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales.
Season 3, which can I just say is kind of insane. Like,
I feel like, I feel like we're setting the tone.
3.
Oh.
I mean, the chaos ensues as it always does. I don't know whose bright idea it was that we should do a podcast, but I have fun with it, so I don't care.
It was Hadley's ideas.
Yeah. Thanks, Hadley. We appreciate you for having us do chaos.
The faith she had in us. Well, anyway, welcome back to season 3, everybody.
Yeah.
Hope you all had good holidays and are staying warm.
Well, Rick and I are in Arizona, so we're warm.
I'm in shorts.
Yeah, it might get up to the 40s by this weekend here.
Oh, that's adorable.
Oh.
The snow started to melt, kind of.
See, now you're just making us jealous.
And then it freezes over at night, so it's really dangerous to walk because the snow's gone, but the ice is there.
Oh man!
Is it spooky? Is it at night? Is it because of the ghosts and stuff?
Dun dun dun.
No, I mean it's spooky because I might slip on ice and break my tailbone. Although sometimes it does get foggy and then it's spooky because of the fog. It reminds me of when it's foggy. It reminds me of Silent Hill.
I'm just going to eat the s'mores.
No,
I'm just drinking.
My remote fell and just shattered, and then as I was looking up here, my seat just went ka-chunk and fell down. So
Bethany,
yeah, I have a pillow on that on, but I should be.
Have you ever used a chair before?
Not apparently. I know I can get this thing back up. Let's see. Hey, look, I'm tall again. What's up?
Cool.
What's up, Londa? How you doing?
Hi, Londa.
Well,
How are you guys?
we figured we would just kind of revisit some old classics. Some we talked about, some we haven't. Dan and Kathy are here. But definitely welcome back, everyone. We're excited to be back. It was great having a nice break, but at the same time, this is fun. So I think we missed this. Yeah. We're going to talk about classic American ghost stories, or just ghost stories. I don't know if we determined, is it American or just ghost stories?
Mine starts off in the Americas.
Yeah, I think it started as classic American ghost stories, but Rikki likes to be different. So
sorry.
I didn't say that was a bad thing. I did not say that was a bad thing. I just said you like to be different. That's all I said.
I think it's about time that maybe we update our intro. I should probably work on that to include Rikki.
Oh,
He's only been with us for 2.5 seasons.
Well, he looks more blonde this season than you do. So there's that, at least.
Yeah.
Last season, he wasn't blonde. But
I know. I'm sorry, guys. I went through a thing. I went brunette and got tattoos, and yeah.
Yes, you should show everybody your tattoo that fits perfectly with our show.
I can't do it. I gotta like stand up. Well, if I do it this way, it's upside down. But the color's not done yet. So when the color's done, then I'll show it. I'll take a picture and I'll do it. But it's a campfire with woods and bats and a book and all sorts of stuff. So,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
it is
I'm pretty
really cool
excited about it.
too.
I'm pretty excited. Lots of work. I love how people are like, "Hey, did it hurt?" I'm like, "It's a tattoo." Like, what do you think?
So my sister has lots of tattoos, and she was talking about how she literally doesn't feel pain, and apparently people that don't feel pain, like we went into this whole deep dive because she's a scientist, so we went into this whole deep dive, and apparently if you don't feel pain when you get a tattoo, you're most likely depressed, which she is, like clinically depressed. Something about your mind and depression, like it deadens pain.
Well, I'm sorry about your sister-in-law. Mine tickled, so I don't know what that means.
Means you have a kink?
Not necessarily.
As long as Bethany's a badass.
I'm sorry, your parents are watching. I should maybe not say something.
Nah, I think they're already used to this stuff. They just, you know what? They pitch ideas.
I'm like, oh.
Unless they say something like
the audience, Krystal.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Sure, or Indy's playing with this toy. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
Yeah, it's fine.
A little bit.
Yeah, I think
Olive
it's
was
frustrating.
behind me. Oh yeah, there she is.
Here's Olive.
Yeah.
I don't see Bigfoot.
Bigfoot's not there right now.
I mean, there's a Sasquatch in the corner. I mean, maybe it's not a Sasquatch, but that's what it reminds me of.
Hold on, let me make this screen big.
Do it?
Yeah.
No, that's not a Sasquatch. That's my fur head.
That's his character.
Oh.
Those are the ears. They're that long. Those are the ears.
But where's our mascot at?
I didn't think it'd be missed.
He's our mascot.
Hold on.
So Londa says that her tattoos hurt, but she still enjoyed them. She goes she's normal. Dad wants to be depressed for an hour so he can get a non-painful tattoo.
I think it has to be like clinical depression because of your mind chemicals deadening your pain sensors. So I don't know if that would work. You could try. You could try. Just think about the saddest thing possible for an hour and see if that works.
What? Think about no longer being retired and having to go back to work. That would depress the hell out of me. So.
Like you thought you were done working forever, and then you find out, no, not only are you not done working, but you now need to work 80 hours a week.
Exactly. Hey, what's up,
Let's
Doc?
say that like we don't already.
All right. Well, we should probably get.
Yeah, what are we, like 10 minutes in already?
You know what? We're kind of doing better than what we normally do, so I think we're doing okay right now.
I don't know what you mean by better, but sure.
Well, you know what? We got it. So anyway, we were going to talk about classic ghost tales. Some American, some not. And I don't know. Do you guys have a preference on who wants to start, or should I pick?
You know what we really should do is get like the wheel of decision making at some point and just spin that on occasion.
I have my wheel from Comic-Con.
Right.
But
who starts with their story, but obviously not tonight, but for next time maybe.
Yeah.
I'll start
somewhere.
So
Krystal's gonna start.
Okay, so my story today is it's ghosts, but it's also based on historical facts, and is just one of the most horrifying things that has been done by a single person in America. Was that Indy?
Yeah, he's the ink blot shadow right here. Sorry.
Oh no, I heard the meow. So I was just like, what is he doing? Sorry.
He's just giving you some ambiance. That's what he's doing.
I love it. So the Lalaurie Mansion in New Orleans. So I don't know how familiar you guys are with the history of the house and what happened there. Back in the 1800s, the house was owned by Delphine Lalaurie and her husband, who had like 5 names. He's not the main character, so I didn't remember all of them.
Side character.
He's just a side character. He was around. I am sure he knew exactly what was going on, and they were rich white slave owners, so they did not care. But he was a doctor, and she was an evil, sadistic person, and she would torture the slaves up in the attic of their home, which their home is, it's not in the French Quarter, but I believe it's very close to the French Quarter of New Orleans. And yeah, every owner has had bad luck. That is very true. There was a slave girl that the actual facts of her death are not 100% verified. This was the 1830s. It was a very long time ago. There's rumors that a neighbor saw Madame Lalaurie chasing this slave girl around on the roof with a whip, trying to whip her and to escape Madame Lalaurie. She jumped off the roof and she died. There's also rumors that she was pushed. There's rumors that she tripped. So we don't know exactly the truth about how she died, but we do know that she went off the roof and was killed. That sparked an investigation. This is the quasi verified facts, but this is the facts. So there was an investigation at the time, but they didn't investigate very deeply because unfortunately people didn't care about slaves. They just didn't. Or at least the people in charge did not care. But she was fined. They found that she was treating her slaves cruelly. So she was fined, and she was also forced to sell all her slaves. But she had her friends and family buy the slaves, and she took them back and kept torturing them. And then a couple years later, there was a fire in the home. The home did not burn down, but there was a fire. And the fire department and neighbors, the family ran out. The family just got themselves out of there, didn't care. Firefighters and neighbors went inside looking to rescue the slaves. I'm talking serious stuff. Really?
It's because he sees the comment right there.
Okay, I didn't see the comment. Okay, that's fair.
I was trying not to post it so we didn't ruin the story.
I wasn't saying anything.
So firefighters and neighbors went. They found basically a torture room in the attic. I'm not going to go into details about how the condition people were found in. It's absolutely horrifying. You can easily find the details if you want to. Just do a quick internet search. Before Madame Lalaurie could be brought to justice, she and her family escaped to France. The things that she did were horrific enough that all the rich, powerful people that liked to enslave people were horrified, and they wanted her to be punished. Like, it was way beyond what was the normal horrors of the day. And since then, like Doc mentioned, it's the property's changed hands multiple times. People have had bad luck. Things have happened. It was apartments for a while, and a guy was murdered. He had been telling a friend that there was a sprite in the house that was coming after him, and said that he would not be left alone until he was dead. There was an all-girls school there for a while, and the girls were were getting mysterious bruises, and when the adults would ask about them, they would say, "Oh, that lady did it. That lady did it." There's been constant reports of hearing moans, hearing chains, hearing whips, hearing people screaming for help. I was actually reading a Reddit post by somebody that worked there, used to be a house, like a maid there, recently within the past 10 years or so. And she said that she would always smell the smell of burned, rotting meat, which with the fire history is kind of, so it's just one of those things. I know Nicolas Cage owned the mansion for a while, and then he went bankrupt and had to sell it. Speaking of bad luck. Yeah. So
the guy from Ghostbusters.
That would be him. That would be him.
Typical Nick Cage thought. Yeah.
I've never been inside the home. When I went to New Orleans, I did see it, and it is like, I mean, it's very consistent. The architecture of the home is very consistent with like the French revival of the French Quarter area. But I don't know. I'm a vibes person, and I did get vibes from just walking past that house, and they were not good. So that's my only experience. I don't have any actual experience with it, but it's always been a story that fascinates me, because it's just like her neighbors knew that, yeah, I'd keep it lit all the time too. I really would. Her neighbors knew that she did not treat the slaves well. And it speaks so much to the fact that they were like, well, yeah, she doesn't treat them well, but whatever. Like, just the horrors of the past, and just how these things could be brushed off until they couldn't be brushed off anymore, until people knew exactly how horrible it was. The fire was said to be potentially set by a woman that was chained in the kitchen because she had tried to escape. So they chained her to the kitchen, and she set the fire so that she would rather die, basically, than stay there. And I just want to say, like, I know I told you guys about this earlier. I was listening to a podcast earlier, because I always listen to like things to remind myself. And these people, I couldn't listen to the full podcast episode because they were like, well, maybe she was just trying to do experiments because it was the 1800s and her husband was a doctor, but she wasn't allowed to be a doctor. So she just experimented on them. First off, I don't care if you don't get to just randomly experiment on people. And I know that was done multiple times throughout our history. Gynecology as we know it is due to testing being done on slave women, and it's absolutely horrific, the history of that as well. It's never okay to test anything on people. What she did was not testing anything, was not done for any medical benefit, would never have fitted anybody. And even if it did, it's not okay. And for people to try to find reasoning that justifies anything that she did is absolutely disgusting. So, we hope that her afterlife is miserable. Yeah. Because she deserves a miserable afterlife. But it's definitely a really spooky house, and it's really crazy. And if you ever go to New Orleans, definitely check out the house. You don't necessarily need to go inside to feel just the bad energy that's there. So that's my classic ghost story for today.
Did I hear you correctly that you were inside it at one point? You visited?
I did not go inside it. I walked past it.
Okay.
But you can go. I think sometimes it depends on who owns it. And right now, I'm not sure if you can tour it or not. There have been tours available in the past. I think it was privately owned when I was in New Orleans, and I don't think you could tour it. But I did go on a tour that walked past it. And because of course I was in New Orleans. Of course I went on a ghost tour, you guys. Like,
How do you choose which one to go on, though? That's the thing.
what?
I said, how do you choose which one to go on? Like, there's so many in New Orleans.
I mean, you just find one and you go. I'm
No,
sure
it's
all the
not
ghost
the
tours
owner.
there. I'm sure with all the ghost tours there, anyone is going to be good.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a bad one there.
I think they're going to be worth the money there. And
Doc knows. He probably knows. Yeah. Like he's very. He knows about that, so I'm sure he knows what she did. But yeah, if you want to know details, trust me, you don't want to know details. But.
Not to like shy away from that. Let me see if I can find it. We first off, I gotta say, I don't know if you guys know this, but we have the highest live viewer counts right now in the history of our show, and it's like 3 times the amount what we normally have. And I'm just baffled because I don't think I know this many people. So that's kind of cool. So thank you so much to everyone who's joining in right now.
Yeah.
If it's your first time, welcome. We're not always as dark as that story that I just told. We're really not always quite that dark. I went for the darkest classic ghost story that I
the fact that we stayed on topic for like 5 minutes straight seems like a
it's
like an accomplishment for us.
I think that attests to how serious and dark that one was.
Although there is a good idea, which I'm like, in my head, I'm like, we should probably do something like this. So Rachel says that we need to have a kitty cam for.
Oh my gosh.
And then Londa votes for it as well. And Indy's like literally staring at me right now.
I just like one eyeball. Oliver's still back there. She's sleeping.
We'll have to see if any of Halo's toys move while I'm away.
Right? We got to get you those moving cat toys that we used at that Jerome thing. So that way we can see like Halo in the back.
we do affectionately call her Ghost Halo.
There you go.
I definitely think your cats are going to be more interesting than mine. This is what she does all day. Sometimes.
No, but that's Sherlock. It's just Indy. I think Indy just needs his own camera. And then we need to have the Sasquatch cam.
The Sasquatch cam is just always on Sasquatch all the time.
Rachel says we come for the stories, but we stay for the off-topic conversations.
Well, that is definitely what happens.
That was actually funny. When we first started the show, we had like a high count, and then the second we got into topic, like 2 people dropped off. I was like, damn it. Pretty much.
Oh, man.
Well,
it smells a lot like s'mores right now, and here I'm getting the campfire smell going right now.
But is it the s'mores from your candy cane, or is it the prickly pear margarita that you kind of mixed it with right there?
It's not margarita, it's water.
Ugh.
Prickly pear cactus water.
Man.
So is it just like the water from a prickly pear cactus? Or is it like cactus water flavored with prickly pear? Londa, if I don't see a kitty, I'm out. We've showed you multiple cats today. So I think
I know.
that's quota.
I'm not doing the joke right now. But...
Now this was from Whole Foods, so it was not worth, I mean, don't buy drinks from Whole Foods.
I literally can't tell you the last time I shopped at a Whole Foods. Actually, I don't think I ever shopped at a Whole Foods. I went inside once, looked at the prices, and walked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm like a.
I was like, this is too expensive for me. I can't. I'm not this fancy. Bye. Where's
London major airbender vibes? And then Doc over here just wants more cats.
Oh, she's cleaning herself. There's some activity back there now.
There you go. There you go. Everyone likes a clean kitty cat. So anyway, on that note.
All right. So Rikki, what is your non-American ghost story for today?
Well, you had La Lori. I've got La Llorona.
I mean, that's kind of American. Mexico is part of North America.
It's the Americas. Yeah.
The Americas. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's on brand. We're good.
Yep. So I mean, the thing is, so La Llorona, she's one of the vengeful water spirits, basically.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that one's probably the craziest one.
Yeah.
It was the screenshot of shame for Indy.
Just kind of there, like.
Sorry.
No problem. But I mean, she's a vengeful ghost, and it comes from the Latino culture, because it's not just Mexico, but they do have a greater influence in the southern United States as well, because there's an influx of a lot of Latino culture. But in the La Llorona ghost story, essentially it's however it happens, she, her kids have drowned, and she's, goes around it, usually waterfront areas and such. But the idea is that she'll collect the children and drown them and stuff, because she's looking for her children. It's a basic premise for that. Usually like in a jealous rage, or just kind of crying, things like that. If you hear her, then she may be already, onto you and that sort of thing. But the reason I kind of hit that was because there's a lot of vengeful water spirit type stories through a lot of cultures. There's, Slavic mythology. There's, and I'm going to butcher all these, the Vodano, which is actually a male water spirit. And almost all of them are evil in some way, or vindictive, or wrathful. And usually it's because the victim, or the actual monster or spirit, is a victim who had died. But he likes to drown people and stuff like that. He can also take many forms and such. Japanese have a lot. Everything from the Funayoro, or the
what?
I had it over here. The onryo and such. The onryo was actually what they used for the ring. Then there's the grunge, and
Grunge,
yeah,
or grunge?
and a lot of Asian thoughts,
Yeah.
Japanese and Chinese in particular, because often, and it's sad, wives were drowned. And, so the idea is that they can kind of take vengeful, revenge on, these husbands, and it's more than that. I mean, this is just a water spirit thing, but, they also have things about, I forget their names, but their heads would come off and they'd float around and, kill, guys who are cheating on their wives. There's, the ones where the necks would go really, really long, and they can go around and torment, those guys that are, evil to their wives and stuff like that. So it's a common theme there. But as far as
I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt for a second, because if I ever come back as a ghost, that's the kind of ghost I want to be. I want to detach my head and chuck it at guys that are jerks.
Yeah. I mean, there might be a slight correlation with the Sleepy Hollow, guy. I can't think.
Right?
Of it.
Yeah.
Headless Horseman.
The Headless Horseman. Yeah.
Sleepy Hollow guy.
Everybody knew who you meant.
Yeah. So,
like, if you're going to come back as a ghost, how cool to come back as a vengeful spirit and get revenge on the jerks, and just be like, you cheated on your wife and drowned her, so I'm chucking my head at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then do you have to go chase the head after that?
No.
No, because you're a ghost. It comes
the
back.
head is the thing, and
like
the
it's a
body is usually
slingshot.
kind of off to the side,
Okay.
doing a thing, or immobile.
Like, that would be awkward. You horrible person, ka-cha, and then you're like, hold on, and you got to walk over.
Yeah. Over there.
I need to go grab my head so I can throw it at you again. I missed.
So,
I missed.
kind of odd. I think it was I think it was Return to Oz with the witch who had the different heads.
Oh yeah, Mombi. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, all the different heads. Yeah.
Ghost head.
I was just riding my bike and all of a sudden there was a ghost head just knocking it off.
Just came out of nowhere.
You're swimming and all of a sudden a ghost head hits you in the face.
I was thinking volleyball, even though you said softball, but still.
You're also spiking it.
But yeah, even China had water ghosts and stuff. And again, these are mostly were people that had drowned and they came back, usually in jealousy or just pissed off. I remember a Supernatural episode where they had to get drunk to even see it. Yeah.
We're all
if you drink, you can see the ghost.
And as far as the vengeful thing, I mean, yeah, that was the vengeful one. But that was when you saw Bobby, and then he starts becoming a vengeful ghost.
Yeah.
So, Southeast.
Wanda.
Oh, yay.
I know,
Southeast Asian.
I used to play softball too, and we were learning to bat. They're like, think of somebody's head that you're angry at. Instead of just thinking of somebody's head, let's just throw ghost heads at you and see if you can.
And if you miss, it's okay. It's a ghost.
Just throw a bunch of ghost heads in like one of those ball machines.
Right. Ghost heads, roly poly, ghost heads, beat them up.
What's sad is I know the song you're singing.
How is that sad?
It's a
classic song.
Granted, fish heads, but fish heads.
Fish.
Probably
fish
ghost.
Heads, ghost heads.
Ghostly fish heads.
Ghostly fish heads.
I mean, that would be a vengeful water spirit.
That would be a vengeful water spirit.
I can't even keep up with the comments at this point.
Ghost head, get off my bike.
No, that is true. And I met her because she came to Mirabel and we were doing like a pedicure on her. And I recognized her and I was like, oh, this is that chick. And I knew her from Grimm and I didn't realize she was like some major celebrity.
Oh, cool.
And I only knew her from Grimm from that episode.
I remember that. I may have to rewatch some of it.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That would be stinky.
Well, that's actually, I had that thought, Wanda, but then I'm like, but if they're ghostly fish heads, maybe that would get rid of the fish smell. Because not all ghosts, some ghosts have a smell, but not all ghosts do.
I don't know.
Right?
This all sounds a little fishy
Just,
to me.
that's all you smell. I mean, it's
I
like,
mean,
where's it coming from?
Yeah, it could just be extra smelly because they're ghosts.
Just let them know it's got to be a ghost fish head. That's all it can be.
I don't even know what tangent we're on right now.
I think we're still on ghostly fish heads. But I could be wrong.
This is what I love about our viewers is they go just as far off tangent as we do, and nobody cares.
I mean, if they don't like the tangents, they wouldn't stick around, honestly.
Right.
So anyway,
going into how it influences other things, fictional writing and such. Lord of the Rings. You had the spirits in the dead marshes. Like when Frodo and Frodo and Sam and Gollum at the time are going through the dead marshes. They're warned about not looking at their their eyes because it'll draw you in. And they are there to drown you. They're the vengeful. They're pissed off. It was a wartime.
Oh, aren't there ghosts like that in Harry Potter too? And like the Deathly Hallows? Is it in the Deathly Hallows? Oh no, it's not in the Deathly Hallows. It's in the one where he goes to the cave with Dumbledore.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course, they do have this ghost there too, but
yeah, which kind of leads towards the whole will-o-wisp thought, because they're
Yeah.
it's a very similar, and in some
Can I just
cases
say I
they can
probably
be,
would 100% follow a will-o'-the-wisp to my death.
that's the thing,
Crystal's probably would. I don't even question it. I'd be like, oh, what's that light?
It's just gas. Don't worry about it.
That's fine.
So excuse me. There are other, there are other.
I'm just trying to keep up with the comments at this point. I'm sorry.
Well, there are other, vengeful water type spirit things, that hit, like the Kelpies, for example, Irish, Scottish folklore and such. And I mean, these are evil entities. They're not designed to be helpful, and it often will be kind of like a siren in some cases, or like a, usually it's like a horse type thing, a water horse. And they can extend their backs to be really long so that you can have a whole bunch of riders on them, which they'll dive to their death, and
100% a Kelpie would.
Huh?
Yeah. Kelpie would also kill me.
But they would be super sticky and stuff, and they're
a horse.
kelp and stuff. Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, pretty, furry animal.
But what was the water horse thing that they had on Fantastic Beasts or something? That one wasn't supposed to be evil. Maybe it was wild or something.
Oh, I can't think of it.
Yeah,
like
it wasn't a Kelpie.
A horse or something. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Now there are other water spirits and stuff that are not as vengeful. Spirited Away went through a bunch of those.
Spirit Away is good, yeah.
Yeah. You've got the river spirit itself, which was so full and polluted of crap that it was, Mr. Stinky. And, they finally cleared it, and it was, now good again. You had, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was another spirit that would offer, gold and stuff to you. And if you took it, then... Huh?
Wait, no, sorry. That's
this was still in Spirited Away.
Think of the river Styx, but that's the river you cross when you die.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, there's that. It was basically the whole vengeful water spirit. It started, for me, it was the immediate thought when we're saying American ghost stories was that, and kind of tailed to there.
What's the one? It's similar to a Kelpie, but they're like
Puka?
No, they're a seal, but like it's a human and a seal.
Silkies.
Yeah, Silky.
Yeah,
Silkies, yeah.
They'd be able to kill me too. Let's just admit, any evil creature, evil spirit that looks like a cute animal would be able to kill me.
Like, that's so 1,000 Ways to Die or something like that. I feel like there's a show that could be made with Krystal with like all the different things like a killer.
I love cute animals.
It'd be kind of like Groundhog's Day. We're just showing all the different deaths along the way.
Or like that Supernatural episode.
Yeah.
I just watched that episode the other day. Pig in a poke.
Pig in a poke. Then Doc's over here, watch out for the kitties.
True.
What's the
if
one?
I die by cat, I would not be surprised.
What's the one that Miss Marvel has? That cat? It's a
I don't know what it's called. A Gorgon? No, not a Gorgon. That's a.
I haven't even seen the show yet, but I know. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't either. I don't have. That's Disney Plus, right? I don't have that. So.
Oh, is it? Oh, I'll have to check.
Alan's wondering if your soul will walk the earth for 30 days before moving on. Alan, we've all been there. Some of us are there right now.
It depends.
I don't know why you're apologizing for drinking.
Yeah.
It depends. Will she lose her head while she chucks them at people? Because she's already stated she wants to come back.
People.
Actually, I think that's called a Doulahan. But yeah.
But no, I think. Well, like, okay, because if you believe in an afterlife, right? Like, there's a transition period. So how long is that transition period? Do you wander the earth for a little bit before you go to the afterlife? Do you get reincarnated? Did you know, speaking of reincarnation, there's like the scientific community is like pretty sure that reincarnation might be a thing. There's like scientific evidence that supports it. Not that proves it, but that supports it. And I think that's crazy. That was on a different podcast I was listening to the other day.
Oh, okay.
Rachel says, "Are kept as a pet."
Oh, can I keep a floating head as a pet? That would be amazing.
Whoa.
I mean, if you can trap it, why not? You know,
I don't want to trap it. I want to love it and give it everything that it needs.
Yeah,
I'll help it find men that are cheating so that it can get its vengeance. And then the rest of the time we'll just hang out.
That's what you feed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, kind of a trap and release type, or you know, like with cats or something.
Yeah. It can watch over me while I'm sleeping.
There's actually an anime.
Not watch me while I'm sleeping.
Sorry.
There's an anime about this ghost investigator who goes to this one dojo and he's trying to figure out why these people are dying and stuff, and they're being murdered pretty, you know, horribly and stuff. And you come to find out it was actually this lady's cat. The lady was like it was not a good thing for her at all, you know, and how she died. And the cat, you know, loved this lady enough that, you know, when it died, it came back as this vengeful spirit that was just slaughtering all the people that it, you know, made her life.
That would make such a cool story for like a crazy cat lady afterlife supernatural thing.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, Olive she wouldn't be interested enough to do that for me. Like, she'd be upset that I died.
Yeah, Halo would.
Yeah.
But she'd be like, who's going to feed me now? That would be her biggest concern.
In Halo's case, it would sound like a little kid crying. Just ask John. First time I went on a vacation, he was watching her for me. You know, come over and watch her. And he's like, I thought there was a kid crying somewhere. It was weird.
Wow. So Dad says Disney has a floating head in the Haunted Mansion. Londa goes,
in a crystal ball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alan posts a good point right here. He goes, do y'all think it's right for a ghost hunter to make a ghost move on? I think it just depends on if it's an angry ghost or not, and if it's for the well-being of the people it's around, pretty much.
And yeah, and are they helping the ghost to move on, or are they forcing them to move on?
Exactly. Like, look at Bobby from Supernatural. I mean, I'm not like we're trying to reference that all the time, but we do.
We always reference Supernatural. Like,
and it was Bobby, man. Bobby's my boy.
The very nature of ghosts is supernatural, and
but it's like, that's a good point though. Like, if you stay behind for a certain reason, like you're angry or whatever, and you just let that hatred build and build and build, and there's no outlet for it, and you just get worse and worse, then at some point, yeah, you gotta someone's just gotta make you move on, like force you move on with that. And it's no longer, is it good for you? It's like, is it good for the people that you're affecting type thing.
Yeah,
so.
Agreed. I think vengeful spirits being forced to move on is okay. A helpful spirit being forced to move on would be like, dude, that's my lucky ghost. Why? Exactly. Don't take my lucky ghost away.
I think I would just want to be like an awkward ghost, you know? Like, I wouldn't be vengeful, but I wouldn't really be helpful. Like, I would move your phone every now and then just to occupy myself and entertain myself. But then if you get really frustrated, then I'll move it back or something.
That video clip I sent you a while back, remember the couple, they're at the beginning, they're like, what are we going to do? I don't know. Let's just ignore it, you know, and stuff like that. And so here they are. It's the next shot. They're sitting on the island in front of their, in the kitchen. Just one's reading the newspaper, the other one's drinking tea or something. You know, something gets knocked off. Well, looks like I need to go get some coffee. You know, she goes over. The coffee maker goes flying off the wall. No, I'm going to go to the store, you know, and get some more, you know. You want me to, get me a coffee too? No, she's like, you know, something like, you know, do you want one? No, it's fine. And then his coffee goes flying off. And he's like, oh no, give me an espresso too. All of a sudden the paper goes flying out of his hands. It's like, they're just ignoring it.
Pretty much.
It just makes the ghost like angrier because they're ignoring it. That was a really funny little clip.
I like Londa goes, if you're angry when I'm kicking you out, and then Londa goes, we would be a cat ghost, just knocking stuff off the.
No, I mean, I think it'd be fun. It's like, okay, like let's, like you said, like I'm going to move your keys, like not even necessarily hide them, just move them. So you go to find them where they were, and they're not there, and then you're like, well, where did they go? Like, because that's fun.
It's fun just to do it when you're alive. I mean, shoot, go over to someone's house and just kind of move their stuff around.
Was it a Buffy episode? Basically, you had this lady who moved into this,
Cordelia.
Well, okay.
It was Angel. It was Angel, and when Cordelia moved into her apartment.
Okay, yeah, and she kind of got a ghost boyfriend, because he was like embedded in the wall or something. But yeah.
Why is that such a thing? Like, I haven't seen that episode of Angel. I've seen a lot of Angel, but I haven't seen that episode. But like, there's romance books out there where it's like women falling in love with ghosts, and I'm like,
okay, like women falling in love with vampires is so much better. Like, dead, lifeless.
At least vampires have a physical body.
So do bears.
Is that why women choose the bear?
I was not making a case for bestiality, okay?
No, not necessarily. Just
every little girl that grew up on Beauty and the Beast right there just took a little shot to the heart. Hey, Rachel's bringing us back. There's a black cat ghost in Europe. I can't read it. It's too. Hold on.
There's a black cat in Europe somewhere where the poor cat was brutally killed, and people talk about how it's scary. But honestly, all she wants to do is give it a cat toy and a cat bed.
There you go.
Yeah, obviously that cat just wanted love. Maybe Europeans should give the cat love, and it wouldn't be so scary anymore.
There you go. There you go. You know what? I think a cat ghost would be really cool. So we did that Jerome thing, right? And it was supposed to be super haunted, and I got that like crazy haunted room, unintentional. And the one thing that they said was that there's a cat ghost in there. And that was the one thing that I told whatever spirits were in that room. I was like, hey, look, y'all got to go down the hallway to Jen. Jen wants to talk to you. She's got all the equipment. Go talk to her. I was like, cat ghost can hang out. And that's like in the middle of the night. I had the TV on the whole night, which, by the way, don't fall asleep to Lord of the Rings when you're in a haunted hotel, because listening to Sauron and like the orcs and goblins talk in a weird language when you're half asleep is not a good idea when you're spooked out. But I swear I felt someone jump on the bed and like curl up on my feet. And I'm like, hey, you know what? Cat ghost listened. So there we go.
There's been, I don't know if there's really a cat ghost around me, but there's been a few times where I thought Olive had jumped up on the bed, and then I look and she's nowhere near the bed.
Yeah.
But I don't know what cat ghost it would be, because she's the only cat that's lived in this apartment with me. So I don't.
Well, maybe it's a cat from a previous owner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or previous cat that's followed you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if they would do that. But and this building isn't that old. I think only one person would have been in this apartment before me, because it's a really new building. It had only been built like 2 years before I moved in here, so possibly 2 people. But
maybe they moved the gravestones before they built the building. I don't know.
Oh God, we're all going Pet Cemetery and Poltergeist right now.
I mean, that could be true. I really hope I'm not on an Indian burial ground, you guys.
No, just a cat burial ground.
Did you? I think I've covered this at one point. Shut up. There was a water park that supposedly was built partially over an Indian burial ground, and they just totally messed with it and stuff. And like there's stuff that happens there that, you know, dangerous stuff.
Yeah.
And so they've had to like shut down parts and whatever. But yeah. Sorry, that's all I thought.
Well, that's what they get for building it over sacred ground.
Yeah.
Imperial ground. Yeah. No.
Londa said, sorry, that was me. I didn't realize that was going to go to you.
Oh,
Loud on your phones. Londa said we had a dog that passed, and for about a week we could hear her nails on the hallway floor.
Okay, so since we're talking about, I mean, this is not an animal, but since we're talking about ghosts, my brother visited a lot of people when he was dying.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like multiple people saw him and had interactions right about the time that he was dying. I didn't have a direct interaction with him, but I was staying at a friend's house, and they had a brand new baby, was maybe 6 months old, and he started crying and crying and crying, and they didn't even hear him, which for new parents to not hear their baby crying in the middle of the night is like crazy to me. So I went and found him. He didn't need a diaper change. He didn't need, he wasn't hungry. He just wanted me to hold him, and he was fine as long as I held him. And then he just kind of calmed down. And then later I found out that it was literally at the exact time that my brother was passing that happened. So I think that was his visit to me, was like, you need to hold somebody that will like being held right now.
Yes, like take care of, kind of.
Yeah. So
grounded in
that comment right there.
huh? What?
I said you're keeping us grounded in seriousness tonight, Krystal.
I know. Dang. You're crashing my buzz, man. I'm totally sorry.
We've also been ridiculous, so I think a little bit of seriousness is okay.
Okay, so two things. Because Rick, I saw your eyes moving down, so I don't know if you were reading that comment about the reincarnation theory. You were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what made our phones go off?
Well, so many comments, man. Okay. I'm sure I missed some, and I'm so sorry if I have. Cody says, what do you think of this theory? The soul moves on through reincarnation. Once it is let go of its past, it cannot wait, hold on. You got to read it because my screen's too small right now.
Okay, if it can't let go, it roams the earth until it effectively dissipates, like fertilizer of the damned.
You see something out there, bold? It's just, you know, ghosts that haven't passed on, but you know they've dissipated enough that now it's just mulch. I mean, they're just
mulch.
Yeah, no, I do think that the whole like once it's let go of its past life, like it can be like the spirit can be reincarnated. It makes a lot of sense because, like with a lot of the reincarnation stories, it's always like. It's like little kids that have no right knowing what they're talking about, like 4-year-olds going into detail about their life on the Titanic and how they died, or 4-year-olds going into detail about some battle that they should have no reason to know about. And it's like that's when you remember your past life best, is when you're young and you're still more open to that. And so that would make sense on why you have kids born in like the 20th century that are remembering battles of the 1400s. Maybe they were haunting the battlefield for a while and they were like, you know what? I'm done. I don't need to haunt this battlefield anymore. I'm going to go find a new life.
That would be really fun is if you're in a Civil War reenactment and there's ghosts who haunt the fields. I'm sorry. This is just going crazy in my brain right now. I don't know how awesome that would be right now.
You're like actively in the battle with a ghost battling next to you that's like in a fight for its life. And you're just like, pew, pew, you're dead.
So Rachel, okay, I can read this one. In my picture on my YouTube profile, these two ghosts, they follow me. Okay, Rachel, you got to start posting that stuff so we can.
Wait, but is that your YouTube profile picture? The two cats?
The cats
that are right next to her comment, because it has the little YouTube thing. Is that not your profile picture, Rachel? Are those the two ghosts that follow you? I have one that follows me like that. Come here.
I'm sorry, I'm reading ahead of comments.
Here's my ghost that follows me, although she's a very upset ghost right now because I picked her up.
Got the the handheld of shame again.
She's like, why?
Alan says, every now and then I can feel my beloved Dixie, who passed about 2 years ago, jump on my bed. Every so often it comforts me that her spirit is still there. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Kayla will still visit the shower every once in a while. She loves the shower.
Like she would hop in it, or she would drink the water?
Yeah, no, she would go in there. And, you know, in fact, her last day, you know, it was all the different water places and stuff, you know. So, you know, I got a video of her just sitting there in the shower. She was really liking that and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But there are times where, you know, the curtain will move, you know, and because she would jump up on the thing and she's there and, you know, she'd hang out. But yeah. So.
Oh, my cat, I mean, he's been gone for a long time now, but my cat Stan he would jump up on like the bathtub ledge. So he'd be between the shower curtain and the shower liner. And he'd just like sit there and watch you shower like a little creeper.
You know?
Well, it was like, you guys remember Xena and Gabby, my two orange cats.
Mm-hmm.
And Xena passed at 16. And I remember shortly after is when Gabby and I moved back in with mom and dad. And Gabby and I were looking out the window of like our bedroom one time. And we saw another orange cat walking in mom and dad's backyard. And it freaked the crap out of me. And I didn't realize that they actually had like a stray cat that was just that mom was like feeding. Because Xena was buried back there, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's Xena!" Like, okay, our comments are going off the rails.
It's almost as bad as my fluffy bunny slippers at the end of the hall that one night.
Oh, that was. We don't talk about that night.
I think we should talk about that night. How do I not know this story about
That's a whole other podcast? And we're getting close to the end of our time.
We haven't even done yours.
What?
We haven't even done your ghost story.
No, okay, so I did mine. Mine was like, actually, Rikki, mine was the Tale of the Headless Horseman.
It kind of.
I thought you knew that. I thought that's why you looped around Sleepy Hollow, but I wasn't going to say anything. But I guess
I didn't know.
He wasn't part of the conversation when you were and I were on.
Okay,
but I only picked that because I was like, just in case yours doesn't go long enough, then I have my backup. So we can I think we could actually do a whole episode on the Headless Horseman because we've talked about La Morena.
Sure.
We haven't talked about Madame Lori, but yeah, I think, so we could do a whole episode on that. I want to get to these comments right now real quick because these people are talking in this chat.
Because you know that I can't see the sidebar of comments because otherwise I look like a ghost. So
no, and that's why I can't read it because like the screen I see you guys on is like this big, and the comments are all over here. So that's why I make you guys read some.
Well, I've got this big monitor now, and so I'm looking all over. That's why you can see my eyeballs move.
That's so awesome for you.
I mean, we did have a very serious conversation at the beginning about how it's not okay to do experiments on people that are.
That is true.
So you missed that a little bit, Dungeon Dan.
Yeah. So far, he came across the wrong. No, I think he came across the right one because I feel like this is a normal podcast. Ghost sex, killer English cats.
And you also missed. I feel like you missed the first half of the podcast because you also are not mentioning in your comment throwing ghost heads at people.
Yeah, we got that. Oh my God, there's so many more comments. Cody misses the bear sex. Rachel, yes, they are. So her profile picture, that's the cats. Cody says that the animals move on with their owners. Rachel says my current cat Ace, who is always in trouble.
Yep.
Londa's like, are you surprised?
I know. I mean, like, Dan, you've seen like a few. I know you've seen a few of our episodes before. You know this is.
Dan's like, not at all. And then Dan's the only one who caught what I did right there to Rikki.
I totally missed that because I was looking down at the comments.
And then he said he missed.
I'm not saying no experiments. I'm saying no experiments on unwilling people. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
And you also missed the ghost fish heads.
Yep.
Yeah, the ghost fish heads. You missed that.
That's going to be stuck in my head at 2 a.m. now. Okay.
Instead of counting sheep, you can count ghost fish heads tonight.
Hum the little song.
I don't even know where. Like, I don't even know how to end this episode at this point.
Welcome to season 3.
Yay! Just keep going and going.
Pretty much. Well, hurled us murderous, cheating men. Pretty much. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales season 3 premiere. Definitely an interesting episode. I never thought this would happen. Anyway. I'm gonna stop posting.
I never thought this would happen to me, but I was in the woods with a bear. And then all of a sudden there was a flying ghost head and things got a little freaky.
Check out the only fish heads now.
Oh my gosh. Alan wants to be buried with his dog there. Okay,
Oh, that's
guys.
I'm planning on becoming a tree.
Well, when you follow the water spirits and the wisps and all the cute little silkies and cute adorable things.
Yeah,
So-
well, you can have your body buried with a sapling,
Right.
and then as you decay,
Oh.
your body feeds the tree.
Okay.
And if you eat the fruit from that,
Yeah,
tree, is it
definitely
horrible?
near a river, so that I can follow the will of the wisps and I can also throw
Will of
ghost
the
heads
That's hard to say. Will of the wisps.
or
The
will of
will of the wisps. I don't know.
It's to throw my head at you.
Well, wisp was like there was some history on that with the etymology. You know, wisp had to do with the bundles of sticks. The will of the wisp is also something about fake ghost or false something. Yeah, I gotta go through my notes, but yeah, it was stuff like that. So
I'm sorry.
yeah,
As long as
sorry.
all birds will
Foolish
poop on-
fire.
Birds will poop on me.
That says if a bear ate a fish head, would it haunt him? Okay. I feel like we're going into a lot of topics right now.
Like sushi, is that going to haunt you later?
Okay.
If it's
mean,
store-bought sushi, maybe.
That yeah. If you bought it from a gas station,
That's a vengeful
might
water
haunt you
spirit
later.
right there. A very vengeful water spirit. We'll name that one Montezuma.
That's why I like the vegetarian sushi. Avocado roll. Yum. So good.
I'll
Is
stick with steak.
Really sushi then?
Dude, vegetarian sushi's so good. Trust me. It's really
But
good.
is it really sushi?
It's rolled like sushi.
Is it like-
Sushi.
Sorry.
It's put together like sushi. It's just missing the fish.
No fish heads for you.
I'm just gonna end the episode.
Bethany's had enough of us.
We have a time limit, people.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
You should probably
look.
stick to
Hey, John.
that.
Again, just in time for us to go away, because apparently we have a time limit that we've never paid attention to before.
I know,
No,
but
but it is hard if we go
remembered.
over an hour. It makes it harder to share the episode later.
It
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
It makes it harder.
All righty.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for joining us. I don't even know how to
Thank you.
recap what we talked about.
The Dungeon Dan already did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
he
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 weeks when maybe we'll talk about Sleepy Hollow, since Bethany didn't get to talk about it tonight.
Well, and we have
There
some
will be
authors
more throwing of
possibly
heads.
down the line and stuff too. So yeah, expect a lot for this season.
Yeah,
And we
we're
do
pretty
have
excited.
we do already have at least one author lined up, William Bowser. I'm very excited to have him on the show. Yeah,
Sorry, I'm
it's
thinking
going to
of
be a
Mario
good season.
Brothers with
What?
Bowser. I'm thinking of Mario Brothers with Bowser.
He's much better than that Bowser. He's a lot
Oh.
nicer. He doesn't steal princesses.
He just writes about it.
He doesn't have to. He's got game.
Exactly. All right. Well,
Sorry,
thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you so much for just putting up with us pretty much at this point.
We lost Krystal.
I know. She's
Sorry.
done.
Anyway.
I'm gonna try to end the show, and I think last time I did that, it played some weird out message because I haven't figured out the StreamYard thing. So if it plays a weird message, I'm sorry. But thank you for joining the show, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Bye.
2 weeks. Oh, wait, no, I can't figure it out. Hold on.
We live here now.
End screen.